Welcome to the Authentic Human Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Vickers. Similar to how military and special ops use remote viewing to access secret information, I communicate directly with universal beings to better understand creation, existence, and evolution. For the past 20 years, I've worked with thousands of people around the world, helping them gain access to the highest level information possible so they can achieve their ultimate goals. Right now, I've partnered with the Creator and some of the most influential beings in existence to bring you the story of creation. My goal is to create a world where you remember who you are and why you exist. Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast. Today is part 18 of the story of creation. And for those who are new here, this is not only is it live recorded, but it is completely unscripted. So I don't know what I'm going to say, when I'm going to say it, or how I'm going to say it. And sometimes, so ultimately, it is not like any other videos out there where they are strategically planning and, cutting the video, editing to make sure that it's making it grab your attention as soon as possible. That is not my intention. My intention is to share universal truth direct from universal beings so that we're putting the power back in your hands, right? The truth of who you are, why you exist, and that's what this is about. So this isn't about ratings. This isn't about editing accuracy, or we're not going to win. And we're not going to win any awards for editing here. And I don't mean that in any other way than this is strategically designed to support your transformation. And that's the goal, the information that you need and sharing that. So I thank you for being here. So let's see. Today is part 18, which I'm super excited about. I have no idea what it's about, but I do know that just thinking about it, last week when I knew 18 was coming, I got excited. And when I booked the session, because it is recorded live, I was getting excited. And so I can feel it's really interesting. There are the angelics are here. If you are aware of energy and have the ability to feel energy, and if you are familiar with these universal beings, you may have already become aware. So the angelics are here, both the first stream and the second stream, as well. It's like the entire universal council is here, really. Of course, the Creator. There's a lot of different universal beings that we haven't been introduced to as much. And then the ones from two parts ago, part 16, and I don't remember what they called themselves. So let me just go back in my notes, because my brain has to be off in order to get into the depth of the information. Okay. So I didn't write it down because, I'm in it. So either way, they're the peachy ones, right? That sort of really light, there's lots of energy. They're lit from within. Okay. And what they're showing me is the depth of awareness around human existence is about to shift and change. Okay. And what that means is, the final piece of the puzzle is about to come to light. Okay. And the piece that they're talking about is the fact that most humans believe the answers are outside of themselves. And this is about to shift. That deep recognition that your truth and the truth of who you are and why you exist is inside of you. And it's actually right there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you to access it. That's really interesting. I've been writing about this for the last 4 hours. So I'm I didn't think it would be about what this part 18 was going to be about. I thought that was for something totally different, but I see how it's all connected. So that's lovely. Okay. So see, this is what happens when it's live. You never know how it's going to fit. And you're just like, okay, that's great. I'm going to have my reaction on live. Super fun. Hi, guys. Okay, here we go. So, and ultimately, I'm so grateful because I have the best community in the world and so supportive, but also so curious, right? This is what makes our community amazing is our level of curiosity and our willingness to participate and ask big questions in spite of what anyone's going to say about them, right? Because we have the courage to follow our instincts. And so, it's important. It's important right now. Anyways, so what's really going on right now is this is beautiful. Okay, so the second stream of angelics are the angelics who created experience, right? So the first are the ones who created matter, and then experience was created. And part of experience was creating the aspect of light. And so we're going to go into light versus dark because this is where a lot of people get really confused because they believe that they have a lot of ideas and ideals of what that means, right? That darkness is bad, darkness is the stuff that's hidden, and whatever other belief around dark versus light really is. And so today, what they're going to do is clear up the misinformation, if you will. So light is just like everything, it's an energy, right? It's not, light bulbs or sunlight. That is not the light that we're talking about. Light is self-recognition. It is the ability to consciously participate in the experience. This is really, really important, okay? Dark is where the consciousness is hidden. Okay? This is really fascinating, actually. And so what I've never explored this in this way, which is lovely. So what has occurred on a human level, okay, is through mass manipulation, we have walked into a dark state of being for all intents and purposes, okay? A dark state of being means we just don't have access to conscious awareness of what's going on. So that means you're literally looking around, nothing feels quite right. Your instincts are telling you one thing, and the rest of the world is saying, no, you can't do that. Oh, that's ridiculous. And then your fears start to come up, and your fears say, oh, well, how can I make that happen? How can we do this? There's no way. That's the dark state of being. Okay. It's perpetuated by belief systems that were brought here. Okay. This is really, really important because we've been taught through, it's almost like the military paradigm to when there is an enemy, right, through military, through entertainment, the entertainment world, which is fascinating. We've been taught that if there's an enemy, we are in our physical danger, we're in physical harm, and we need to hunt them down, or we need to run and hide. And so right now, we're living in a society of people who are either choosing to hide or people who are choosing to hunt down and kill. Fascinating, right? Because that's what happens in a society that has gone dark. Okay? Now, over the last 80, 90 years, okay, there's been a movement towards the light. Okay, so what does that look like? What does that really mean? It means there have been people who have come here into this world, into this life, who are more, more interested in seeing the truth than allowing the dark to perpetuate their experience. This is really important because we have, mainstream, again, has misconstrued this as, we call it awakening, but they've misconstrued it and mislabeled it again as a spiritual awakening, a spiritual experience, but it's not really real, and it doesn't affect or impact your everyday life of needing to live here and be here. And what they're saying is that conscious awareness, it's free. It's available to everyone. But you have to choose to not stay underneath that umbrella of lies. Okay? And so what has happened to humanity is that we've gone to this place where we're so scared to believe in someone else because everything that other people tell us is a lie. Here's the key. You're 100% right. 100% right. Because you're not supposed to trust anybody else with the awareness of the universe. Because your awareness of the universe comes directly through you and your connection to the universe itself. You're not supposed to get it through someone else's filter. You're really not. Which is ultimately why in every episode that I have done, I encourage you to feel the energy so that as I'm sharing the words, your brain can comprehend it, but your energy should be fact checking for you. Your energy should be saying, does that feel right? Okay. Because here's the thing. The reason that our consciousness went dark and how we were able to be so manipulated is because 90 to 95% of what they share is true. But the last 5 to 10%, it's usually 5, is the manipulation. The problem and the challenge is that in that percentage is hidden, like they're showing me like massive limitations on your conscious experience and your potential. And so what happened as a result, and what still happens to this day, is that your self-worth and your awareness of who you are has been poisoned, if you will. And it continues to take hits of pain and suffering, which creates this dynamic in you that you don't want to trust yourself, because every single time you do, someone tells you you're wrong. Someone tells you you're not good enough. Someone tells you there's no way that's going to work. You can't make that work. And here's the thing. If you receive information about existence, it is because it is your awareness to have. I need you to hear that. If you receive information about universal existence, and how do you receive it? Someone says something and you're like, that's not right. That doesn't feel right. It's one of those conversations that in your head lingers for hours afterwards. You keep replaying it because it doesn't feel right. That is you and your instincts that know better. And your job is to then define if you're holding anger and resentment, that's okay. But it's also really cool because anger and resentment are like a doorway to truth. Because the moment you allow yourself to go, oh, I'm so angry, right? Or I'm so scared, because most of us don't realize, right, that anger is actually fear. We can't get to that place. We're going to hit all of this in the story of creation as it comes. But what they're showing today is recognition, okay? That when you have that anger at a conversation or an experience, and it keeps playing over and over and over inside of you, you need to look at where that anger is coming from, because that's where you still have fear. And your fear is based on your comfort level with who you are and your ability to be yourself. Okay? I know that sounds crazy and ridiculous. And ultimately, it sounds too good to be true. It can't be that simple. But the thing is that if it's universal, it is simple. It is simple. It's the human design of that dark energy that has trained us to believe that complication and strategy is way more valuable than the simplicity of pure truth. Okay? This is part of why you've been poisoned against yourself. And you feel it, right? Like the energy when you don't believe in yourself, when you don't feel comfortable or confident, or you have a dream or a goal and you start working towards it and then the fear comes in, it literally feels like poison in your veins. It's paralyzing in so many different ways. Sometimes you have a hard time breathing, or you don't even realize that you're barely breathing, right? Like you're just taking these little breaths and you're not relaxed. You're in a state of reaction instead of a state of balance, right? And so recognition that that light is always available to you. This is really important. Gosh, I feel like a broken record when I keep saying that. But the reality is, light energy is just truth. That's all it is. That's it. Light is literally, so when I say truth, okay, what they're showing me is it's like a big, huge pot, okay, of every single thing that has ever happened in the history of existence itself. Energetically, there's a full record, right? You don't need a video. You don't need a text to, have this information held, right? That we've been told, right? It's literally right there. It's already recorded. And you have direct access to it. You just have to remember how to use that. That's it. And so what you're doing is understanding that there's no such thing as pretending you don't exist anymore. It's time for you to recognize, right? Because that's what we do. When we don't believe ourselves, we don't trust in ourselves, we're pretending we don't really exist, right? You're pretending that your say doesn't matter. You're pretending that, how you feel doesn't matter. And you pretend that no one's going to miss you if you're not there. I can tell you, your existence not only matters, it's vital to human existence. It's vital to human evolution. And it is all about the things that make your brain excited. It's all about the things that you hear or think or say or feel that you get excited about. They spark you to life, even if they don't touch the 5,000 other people who are in the room with you. Who cares? They're not supposed to. You're the one who's meant to feel it. How do you know? Because you're feeling it. It's that simple. And Your job is to follow that light because that's the truth. If you continue to turn it off, to pretend it doesn't exist, to need other people to get it, you're the one who is choosing to hide. But we need you. And if you keep hiding humanity, it's almost like the energy, it's like humanity's not safe, right? It's that whole belief. I mean, it's that we're safe, but energetically, right? That whole darkness is all about we're hiding. We're not safe. So we have to either hide or we have to hunt it down and kill it. So if you continue to believe that you're not worthy, you're actually the one who's choosing to not protect humanity, because that's what we're really at right now. We're at this stage in evolution and consciousness that in order for humanity to move forward, we need to resurrect the truth, which means it is every human's responsibility to participate in that truth, to hold it as the most sacred thing in your life and in your existence. And you can't do that if you continue to pretend that you don't matter. Does that make sense? Do you feel that? Because we need you. It's that simple. We need you. We need you stripped of your fears, of your anxiety, of your depression. And I can tell you, those things start to go away when you focus on truth. They build and they fester and they feed off of each other when you stay in the dark. It's that simple. It's about recognizing that truth is everywhere. How do you know? You can feel it. Why is it important? Because our very existence relies on the fact that you're going to get this. So I ask you to spend some time today. The Creator is asking you to spend some time today allowing yourself to recognize the true value of your existence. He says, I want you to feel the awareness of his love and his respect for you. You can feel the energy. And he also says, go back and listen to the first part 1, part 2, part 3, where he explained why he created you in the first place. You know, it's not, all the answers aren't there. And yet what you need to hear is right there. And what you need to feel will come through as a result. Your job is to begin to allow yourself, it's like coming out of the cave. It's like Jesus is showing me, it's like his rebirth, where he comes out of the cave and everyone's shocked that he's coming out of the cave. That's what you're meant to do. That cave is the darkness and the light is right there. You don't have to, it's not a big war. That illusion is designed strategically to make sure you don't come out of the cave. You don't have to overcome anything but your own beliefs. And you are the only power that can do that. And no one can take it away from you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very humbled that you're here. And I'm excited that you're participating. Let me know how it's going. Thank you. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Authentic Human Podcast. I'm Michelle Vickers. If you're one of the select few who felt the depth and energy of universal wisdom in this episode, I invite you to join our private community, the Authentic Human Collective, where episodes are recorded live and the conversation and exploration go far beyond what the public is ready to hear. Find all the details at michellevickers.com.